You know, has nothing to do with your bloodline. Only for me to find out in a deep dive checkup that I had PCOS. So I see you had a baby on me. I went through the postpartum depression of just not snapping back right away. What's a big lesson you've learned this year so far? Are you single or in a relationship? Hi, YouTube. She's back. For those who know me, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't, I'd like to reintroduce myself as I did go through some recent name changes here. We started out as D Queen TV, and then we switched the name to Vendetta Beretta. And now I have decided to just go with the original, which is my government, Jamelia D Queen. Say it with me. Jamelia, not Jamila, not Jamila, Jamelia, be queen. Just my original birth name. I figured I would stop running from myself, which I kind of had some time to self-reflect over the past years that I've been off of YouTube and ready to dive into the ownership of who I really am. And what way to do that? By coming original and give you guys some updates on me. So it is 2025, and I do believe the last time I made a video was in 2020. I was doing prank videos, truth or drink videos, some public challenge videos, and you'll see that the content isn't going to change too far from that, but it is going to be a substantial difference in the content as I've just matured over these years, guys, and I'm hoping you guys can grow with me and, you know, support the new me. So, with that being said, I decided to do a Q&A and get back in the groove of things. I dropped a Q&A on my social media so that individuals could ask me some questions that they've been wondering over the past 5 years that I've been gone off of YouTube, and I've just kind of selected some from there and I'll answer them. I hope I answer your question. If not, you can drop any questions for me down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I almost forgot that part. It's been so long. Yes, be sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, drop any questions you have for me in the next life update Q&A. I'll be sure to answer those for you guys. So let's go with some of these questions. First question is, where have you been? I've been in my skin. I have been put up out the way, minding my business. I'd say nothing too special. I had some major changes in my life that have just caused me to go indoors and kind of be done with the nightlife. Party. I've been a nightlife kind of girl, but I did start doing, the lounges, comedy clubs, and things like that. But now we're inside. I don't, I don't know if I want to. Okay, we can answer this one. If someone peeked at your camera roll right now, what would they see the most of? The answer to that question would be my child. And so, to those who do not know, during the time that I have been away, I did birth a child, a beautiful baby boy by the name of Omari, who I plan to introduce to the channel. He is 3 now, and he gets the most of me, the best of me. So, like his mom, ironically, he loves the camera, and he is on the phone with his grandparents all the time, snapping pictures or just snapping pictures of himself, which I find interesting. I had my TikTok shut down because people wouldn't believe it when I say it, but my 1 year old was uploading videos of himself on TikTok, picking songs that were so funny and random, but somehow related to his mood.
Hey, what she look like, bro? Shorty press, shorty fine, yeah. Face card valid, she gon' slay it every time. Independent, on the grind, yeah. All about the money, so she never got time. Shorty press. I guess you don't know where I've been.
And TikTok actually shut my account down, and I had to go through a verification process, show them my ID, and all kinds of things to get it back. So if you were to look in my camera roll, you're going to see a lot of him. He is full of energy, full of character, and like I said, I will introduce him to you guys here pretty soon. Have a lot of content with him, if of course, mommy and me type content. That's who you will see. You know, these questions. So I just informed some of you that I had a child, but there are some who follow me on social media that may have already known that. And one of the questions I see is, so I see you had a baby on me. Y'all are funny with these comments. I didn't tell you how many times I hear this comment. I'm pretty sure I had a baby on me, not you, because I woke up one day pregnant, truthfully. Huh? I had no idea I was pregnant for the longest of time. I was about 2 months in before I really figured it out. It doesn't take a rocket science to say it was not planned. And it was definitely unexpected. And I know people will say, how was it unexpected if you were doing what you were doing? I think I'll take a moment to kind of explain why I said it was unexpected, because it really is a pivoting point in my life. So for the longest of time, me and my partner at the time had been trying to have a child for 3-4 years consistently, and nothing was happening. Of course, I accused them of shooting blanks and all kinds of things to kind of point it at him, only for me to find out in a deep dive checkup that I had Pcos, which would be a main contributor to why most women have difficulty getting pregnant. And of course, when I found out, it was devastating, and I just kind of really honed in on my health. And when I did that, I changed my diet completely. I no longer ate meat. I went completely alkaline vegan for 90 days plus, and I experienced a total change in my body from the way my cycle would come. I used to have very heavy cycles, and then all of a sudden they were extremely light, to the point where they were like, first they were 5 to 7 days at a time, and then once I went alkaline vegan, they were 2 to 3 days. I literally would have a light day, a heavy day, and another light day, and it was like clockwork. I thought it's so amazing what diet can do to your body. Yeah, I went alkaline vegan for 3 months plus, and then kind of forgot. I forgot that I did these changes because I didn't do these changes in the hopes of getting pregnant in the moment. When I did the changes, I had ended that relationship with my partner at the time. I just went on a healing journey for myself and my body, and I was kind of preparing myself for my future, my future husband, my future purpose plan. And in the midst of it all, I spent a night with that ex-lover, and that one night happened to be the reason why I had a baby on me. Not on you, but on me. Don't regret it. It's definitely, a beautiful blessing, but it's nothing that I planned for myself because I never, wanted to be a baby's mother. I was definitely done with that relationship when I was done with it. But I mean, given that we spent so much time in the relationship trying to get pregnant, I think I fell into that it's not going to happen kind of mindset. We've already been trying for 3 plus 4 years. It's like you can't give me kids is where I was at with that individual. And lo and behold, 2 months later I wake up and I'm wondering why I slept for 8, 9 hours. And this was my thing where I needed 8 hours. Like if I didn't get 8 hours, I felt cheated. But I would sleep 8, 9 hours and wake up completely tired and I couldn't explain it. And then one day while brushing my teeth, I just puked, and I don't puke. Like that is an absolute ain't gonna happen for me. Isn't going to happen. Be professional. It's not something I like to do. Like I'll swallow it before I do it. So, and that's just me. Like I'm just not a puker. It's just ill. So when I puked, I knew for certain I was pregnant, and I went took a pregnancy test that day. It happened to be my deceased father's birthday, or shortly after his birthday. So I really found that to be a memorial marking for him. Yeah, found out I was pregnant. So that's that. I did not have a baby on you. I had a baby on me. What are your current goals right now? Hmm. I'm kind of okay. I'll just be general because I'm hesitant on answering questions about what I have going on in my life these days, as I've learned that there are monitoring spirits and just negative energies around me for Lord knows whatever reason, that I just rather not share my plans and I just rather execute them. My biggest goal right now is just to wake up and determine what I can instill in myself on a daily basis to become a better woman for myself and for my child. So, whatever that looks like for me, that's the goal. I hope that answered your question. What's a random app on your phone you actually use way too much? I'm I'm for the older generation, so a lot of people would say that this app is for old people because I would say it. But hey, look, I'm a 90s baby, so Facebook. Facebook is an app that I probably use way too much. Although I have a larger following on TikTok, I spend most of my time on Facebook. What's your current comfort show and one you rewatch when you're bored? That's a good question. I like that question. I like to watch shows about family. So I have a show that I like called All American. It's on CW. Spencer and Olivia's love story has had me wrapped since day one, since he was with Layla, and I knew he wanted Olivia. But that's neither here nor there. They're together now. I don't know. I hope they're still together. I haven't seen the recent release of the season, but I'm gonna say All American. I can do the Homecoming, but the Homecoming just doesn't hit like the original All American. And then I also like, what is that one called? It's a Tyler Perry show. Oh, I wish I could think of it. And it's crazy that I cannot think of it. It's a spinoff to the Why Did I Get Married couple, Angela and Marcus. They have a series, and it came out a long time ago, but that is a series that I can watch, rewatch, start it all the way over, watch it again. That and Being Mary Jane. Those are two series that I can rewatch any day, every day. Kind of my vibe. What phrase or word you can't stop saying? I think I have a really bad phrase or word that I can't stop saying right now, but I'm working on it. And the phrase is, don't piss me off. Do not. piss me off. Like that's my phrase. Between that and the finger taps, you'll probably get annoyed with me if you knew me in real life, because that's my thing, and don't piss me off. It's like my go-to with anything. What's a big lesson you've learned this year so far? You guys are really, really coming with some good questions here. The biggest lesson I guess I've learned, I feel like it's a setup because you guys are funny, but the biggest lessons I've learned so far, I've learned a few, quite a few. You know, family has nothing to do with your bloodline. Family is the individuals you can call, rely on, trust, and really have an inner circle and understanding with. Those people check on you, you check on them. That's family. That bloodline stuff is relative to me. You're my relative. We're related. Don't call me family. I don't want to say don't call me family. I'm not going to call you family. You can say what you want, but I'm not doing that. So I've learned that there's a difference between family and relatives. I've also learned that everybody's just not meant to go where you're going. So I've taken some huge loss in my life from relatives and friendships and all kinds of things that are really shocking to me, especially some of the friendships being 10 plus years in the game, strong. You know, you never think some people would do you how they do you. But another thing I learned is that the favor over my life is unmeasurable. It's gotten to the point where the Most High puts it on the individual's tongue to expose themselves in a way that they can't help themselves but to do. So, like, man, like, even with the friendship, the long term friendship, like, the individual just, they basically did it to themselves. Like, they couldn't help it. And I mean, I'm sure they regretted it, but, they said things that were exposing, and they I find it funny. So my friend was like, "Hey, we should record our conversations and start a podcast together." And I'm like, "Oh, great idea." That's supportive. You know that I like social media and different things like that. And I mean, I'm pretty sure the Most High put this thought on their tongue, because now to this day they probably regret it. Well, I know they regret it because they got to the point where they were like, "Stop recording my fucking call." Like, wait, you said you wanted this, you know? So we're recording the calls, and of course, I get to play the calls back because I have the recordings in my possession, and I just get to notice the play in their throat chakra, like, and the things that they choose to say and do. And then, when I listen back, I call it into question in the next conversation, and they would literally try to like gaslight and be like, "I didn't say that, but ding dong, you told me to record, and I have it for you to hear." So, and it just, exposes people in a way that I'm sure had had they really thought about it, they would have never did that. So, I mean, I call it favor, because who hangs themselves like that? Like, nobody shoots themselves in the foot like that. But the way my favor is set up, you will. And I had another encounter where I had got close to a friend, and they had been saying, like, if I'm here for a reason or a season, then you're probably just gonna have to, learn to be without me in your life. Why would you say that? We're the bestest of friends. Like, you're gonna be here forever. And I mean, when their season was up, they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't. I mean, they just, I the like 2 weeks prior to the end of the friendship, maybe a week and a half prior, I was like, "Hey, it's giving WBB. Like, you're doing some weird bitch behaviors." They denied it. They got super offended, and don't call it that. That's not what it is. And it's not bad as this, and try to explain themselves. And then shortly after, they about did it again. And of course, you fool me one time, shame on me. Fool me twice, wait, I said it wrong.
Boy, if you don't get
How did J. Cole say it? He said, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me three times, the peace sign, load the chopper and let it rain on you. See, I get in my J. Cole era when that third time come around, so I just usually let stuff go. By that second time you fool me, good job. You did good. We don't need to worry about that third time because I got babies. You might have babies. We don't need to go there. So I've definitely grown past that era. But yeah, this year I've learned that, my favor is unmeasurable. Pardon me, we had an interruption from the intruder in my life. We got him settled. Next question is, are you single or in a relationship? You guys are nosy. um, I am currently in a relationship with my damn self and the most high up above. I don't have any love interests in the moment. I'm not scared of love. I love love, but people are weird. These days I've learned people are so weird that I'm going to hold off on relationships and just handle the business for now because that ain't going to work for me. Weird WBB and WNB don't work for me. Weird bitch behavior and weird nigga behavior does not work for me. Part of my French. I'm definitely working on that, but it just is what it is at this point. If you could give your younger self advice today, what would it be? This is a question I pulled up in general questions for myself when I was trying to get some questions and it wasn't really going my way, but this one was a good one for me. I would say discipline in savings. I would definitely tell my younger self that. I've made a lot of money that I just blew off over my years of living. These days, I'm doing well with savings, but man, when I look back over the money that I was making at a time when people weren't even making that kind of money, I definitely should have been doing better with that money. So if I can give any young women advice, if you're 18, fresh out of college, and you've got the opportunity of a lifetime, you're making more money than you see the peers around you making. What I can tell you to do is live off their budget, live off of what they're making, because that's all it really takes. If they can do it, you can do it. Put the rest away. I wouldn't say just sit it up. I learned some kind of investment strategy, whether you're stocks and bonds or you are investing in an entrepreneur business that's going to turn you some income, profit income over time. Uh, save, save. I'd also tell my younger self that everybody that comes across your path may not be meant for you. I feel like I spent a lot of time in my life not understanding my purpose. And when being misaligned with your purpose, you'll have assignments come into your life and you'll fall for those assignments and fall in love with people that you are only supposed to be fulfilling the most highest purpose with. And I found myself doing that time and time again in my younger days. And now that I can reflect over those times, I can really see where those people were really just in my life for a reason. In the season, had I known that, I wouldn't have been heartbroken or hurt about the ending and the damage caused by those relationships. I wouldn't have been damaged at all. I would have took it in stride. I think that's what they say. Take it in stride. Like, don't call me there. It's something like that. Something like you can't really go with those old school sayings because I've got so annoyed as I've learned the actual wording of some of those things that the old school school used to say that was absolutely incorrect and made no sense, like the "you can't have your cake and eat it too" phrase. Like, let's think about it.
Yeah, you should think about it.
Take a
Take a
second.
second.
Matter of
Matter of
fact,
fact,
you
you
should
should take
take
for a
fork
beat and
and
think
think
before you
before you
fuck a
for a
little
little
skateboard P.
skateboard P. Listen, I'm a musical connoisseur, as you can tell. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, let's be real. When you get cake, CAKE, you're supposed to eat it. Unless you're allergic to cake, of course, I don't like the texture for some sensory issues or something. But cake is meant to be eaten. Um, which is why that's not how the saying goes, guys. I am so sorry to break it to you, but the saying goes you cannot have your Kate, KATE, and Edith too, which are two women. So this is it. I mean, I guess they thought they knew what they were talking about because this is what they were trying to say with "you can't have your cake and eat it too." But you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have both women. You can't have both things you might want. That's the way the saying goes. So I don't know if the taking a stride thing is real or how it goes, but I know the old school be having it all kinds of mumbled and jumbled. And the way my mama makes stuff up, I don't know why my mama just called her straight there. Mama, I love you. Okay. I do. I love you. But you know how you do. You just make up words and songs and stuff and just put stuff together. I'm sure you thought it meant that, but I don't blame you. But girl, it ain't that. If you had to live off one meal for the next week, what would it be? One meal for the next week, what would it be? Uh, I've been in my fasting days these days. So I can't really think of a meal that I could eat for a week. I'm not that simple. Like, you can't feed me the same thing for a week. You can't do the same thing for a week for me. Like, you need to switch it up. You need to spice it up for me if you want to keep me around. Because I know some people, like, I have a brother. Shout out to Elfay. And when I tell you this man can eat the exact same meal, he will go through the exact same routine throughout his day. And I mean, from day to day, he goes to work and he takes about the same thing for lunch. And he does the same thing on lunch, and it's actually it's pretty neat to see. And I've seen it from a perspective of man. That kind of man, he's gonna really be good for a woman because he's not gonna need a lot of change and variations. He'll be okay with just one woman. But that's just not me. Glad I'm not a man. Good traits to have for a man, but myself, I think we're supposed to switch it up. While we change our hair, our nails, our clothes, our toes. It's what we do. So please don't ask me to eat anything for a week. How has your mental health been, honestly? Oh, we're getting deep. Let's get a little deeper. I actually, you see me trying to deflect. Y'all just nosy. I don't know. I might be done after this. I think the video is getting long. I have some Dubai chocolate that I'm really excited about. And before we get into that question, let's bust this thing open and see what it's hitting for. Because what y'all not gonna do is stress me out today. Okay, y'all not. I don't have time. I'm cool. You cool? How is you cool? So what I don't like is that this is this big old chunk. Um, I don't know if y'all can see how thick this is, but I, I don't think any candy bar needs to be this thick unless it's a Snicker. But we'll see. I might be. I'm a bit picky, and I'm a bit textural. Textural. I don't know. autistic maybe, but textures really do something for me. Like I can't do it. I'm a smart woman, but as I've learned some things, like, hey, you know, our parents weren't into diagnosis. I might be a little autistic the way this soft top to this chocolate just turned me all the way off. So it's hard here, solid, like a Hershey's. I can get with that. I can get jiggy with that. But see, when you get here, it's like a pillow. It's a plush. It's just my finger. You see my finger just went in there, and then it's. Uh, Let me not be. Look, I'm a bit extra. Y'all wanted personality. Y'all gonna get it today. I don't think this is right. Like from what I've seen on TikTok and stuff about Dubai candy, and like this don't even look like the picture. Let me show you. I don't know how we get this. Like they add food coloring. This is what they do in the commercials, right? They would put a raw burger on the camera and show us a raw burger that looks super juicy, super big. And then when we get it, it's this big. Because they be lying. I hate liars. Like that's when you talk about pet peeve, don't lie to me. Don't piss me off. You don't have to. What you lying for? Oof. Sugar. uh, all right. That's enough of that. I'm not gonna cap like it was all bad, but it ain't all good either. I hope I don't have chocolate somewhere I don't want it, but it was a bit too much chocolate for me. I didn't bring a napkin. I gotta get one now because I'm a bit spitophobic and I don't know why I did that. Like I could just let this dry. Hold on. Yes, I did say spitophobic. Yes. You'll find I'm an interesting character. I don't care. I've been this way my whole life. I get used to it. I get lost. Don't care for spit. Not even my own. I used to have a real bad problem as a child. I would just spit it out to where my mother got upset. Like, stop spitting everywhere. But I just thought it needs to get out of my mouth because I didn't like it. But I'm better about it now. But yeah, we're not gonna have it all over the place. That ain't my thing. Yeah, let's see. Do I want to answer any more questions before I go? Because this video might be long. Maybe two. Oh, you see how I didn't really want to answer that question? I was really about to cut this video short, but I'm not gonna do that because I know when I watch this video back, I'm gonna feel played and embarrassed because content is key. How is my how has your mental health been late? No, it didn't say late. How has your mental health been honestly? Let's talk about it, I guess, since y'all want to be nosy. For most of my life, you couldn't have told me I wasn't okay. Like, you asked me how you doing, I'm fine. No, for real, how you doing? I am fine, girl. Like, do you not see? Like, I'm blessed. I'm beautiful. I'm good. Like, however, a 3-year old gamer is crazy, but you'll get a chance to meet this guy with all his personality. So, like I said, yeah, you couldn't have told me I wasn't fine. You couldn't have told me I wasn't good. I really thought I was good. And then when I got pregnant, life hit me in a way that just made me really hone in on my emotions. Of course, I got this baby in me, and my hormones are all off balance, and I'm pregnant by a guy I do not want to be with. Like that's in his current state. I knew I did not want to be with that guy. Had he been able to change because of our previous connection, I'm sure I would have gave it a try for my family. I actually we'll get there. I go through my pregnancy alone, completely alone. I mean, isolated to the point where my grandmother didn't find out I was pregnant till I was about 7, 8 months. Granted, my family, they're not gonna keep no secrets. So the whisper might have been around, the rumor might have been around because I told one person, and that person can't hold water. I'm not gonna say that person's name because I'm working on being better at honoring this individual. So I told them I was pregnant. And, of course, people may have heard, but as far as like seeing me physically pregnant, my grandmother didn't find out, see me pregnant until I was like 7 months. My father, my stepfather, I walked up to him so big and pregnant, and he hadn't seen me in so long. He said, God damn. He ain't gonna walk in here and walk past you. Ain't gonna slide past that. Like I don't see what's going on. Like it was so funny, but that's where I was mentally. I was isolated, and then when I had my child, I fell into a depression, sort of. They postpartum, I guess is what it's called, and it's just because life just wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. For starters, during my pregnancy, I'm about 6 months into my pregnancy. I'm working a job that I think is going to get me through my struggles as far as life struggles and, keep me afloat as I have this baby, prepare for a future for this baby. And on my birthday, October 1st, this job decides to fire me after a lady conned me into telling her I was pregnant. At first, my intuition told me to keep it to myself. But this lady, you know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, come to me with that motherly instinct. I just want to make sure you're good, and it's just going to be between us, but I could make sure that everything's okay for you and you don't have to do too much. And so I go with it eventually. First I'm no, and then I'm not big on lying. So that's just not my thing. If you ask anybody why they don't like me, it's because I'm a truth teller. But so eventually telling her no just really didn't sit well with me, and I started telling her I don't know. Like, hey, I don't know for certain. Because of course I'm growing. Like, girl, you can't hide it for too long. So I'm telling her I don't know, and eventually I tell her I found out I was. Girl, not even a week later, these folks fire me on my birthday. I was distraught. So, I mean, of course, I have all of life's bills that are going to hit me if I don't figure out what to do. So, thankfully, like I said, the favor on over my life is unmeasurable. Although things were challenging, which is why you'll learn that, regardless of what anybody says, I never felt like I was bigger than the program. Like I've always been an humble individual. I, with a bachelor's degree and extensive years of management experience, after being fired on my birthday while pregnant, I took a job for $13 an hour from home while I was pregnant. By the math, it was going to pay my bills. And that's all I needed it to do. Pay my bills, and I barely had groceries. Pregnant. But I was at that time. I was alkaline vegan, and regardless of what people tell you about eating vegan, it really isn't that expensive when you know what you're doing. And I really took a deep dive into it. I opened alkaline. Well, I was about to open an alkaline vegan restaurant, so I have a catalog of recipes that I was able to make from garbanzo beans and walnuts, So I didn't really struggle when it came to eating, but that job could only pay my bills, and I took it because that's what survivors do. Like we're gonna figure it out. And nothing else that came my way. I really was too big to interview and fool somebody like I wasn't pregnant, like I had did then. Because when I got the job, I was pregnant, but of course I didn't tell them that because I know. I mean, I've worked in management, I've worked in HR. I know the kind of discrimination that's done behind the scenes, although it said it's not allowed. The key point about it is it's only not allowed if it can be proven. And in like with them firing me on my birthday, it couldn't be proven that that's the reason why they fired me. They made up a reason that, of course, I can argue it back and forth all I want. I just lose my voice. It didn't matter. That's not what they said they did, and I couldn't prove that's why they did it. So I was too big to, you know, do that. And then I took the $13 an hour job, and I worked from home until up until I went to the hospital one day. Not the hospital. I went for a checkup one day, routine pregnancy checkup, and they had been telling me my blood pressure was elevated. I didn't really believe them because, baby, they'll check my blood pressure in 1 minute, tell me to chill for 2 minutes, and check it again, and my blood pressure be good. I wasn't really active in my pregnancy. Eventually, I got depressed in my pregnancy. I went through it alone. Like no woman wants to go through pregnancy alone, which is why you'll find over time in my announcements of what I really got going on, it's gonna be to support a lot of those things that I went through. Cool. I wasn't active. I wasn't active in my pregnancy, and so when I would get up and go from the front office seating area, the waiting area, to the back, it would elevate my blood pressure because I wasn't active. I wasn't doing much walking when I got home. So that's why you'd see the difference between a minute or two. But of course, the doctors are going to do what they want. One day I go and she tells me, "Oh, your blood pressure's high again." And I'm like, "But you know it's going to go down in 2 minutes." She's like, "Yeah, I don't care about that. We're sending you to the hospital to have the baby now because of preeclampsia." Like, so I think that's how you say it. Preeclampsia, preeclampsia. I'm not a one of them majors. I'm a business major, so don't quote me with that one either. So I'm sent to the hospital. They monitor my blood pressure the whole time I'm in the hospital. I never had elevated blood pressure. After my pregnancy, I did not have elevated blood pressure, but I was forced to have my child at 38 weeks. That took a toll on me because I had a plan for my pregnancy. I wanted it done a certain way, although I'd done some research and I had not gotten things in order. Anyways, to have it done that way, I thought I wanted it done a certain way, and to have it just kind of robbed from me one day because a doctor said so, it really didn't sit right with me. But, I go through that mentally. Of course, I'm in the hospital and I experience a lot of combativeness about my life choices and what I want for my child. And then I decide I am going to move to a town closer to my parents. So I left the city I was in, which is Houston, and I moved to a city closer to where my parents moved for the help of a babysitter. I wanted, of course, to get a better job and get back on my feet. Like I told you, I was working a job for $13 an hour, and then the job gave me I don't know if it was an 8 week leave or a 12 week leave, but the leave was so short they wanted me back at the job like before I knew it, and I had just had a baby. So of course I went back, but I didn't go back for long. I did not go back for long. And staying with my parents, I of course that took a toll on me. I'm a grown woman staying in my parents' house again, um, which I moved out at 18. So that was a real big mental toll because I thought I had it together. Thought I'd never have to go back there. Not like my parents' house was bad, but In my house, my rules. I don't do well with rules. It's not that I don't do well with rules because that does sound bad. Um, I just like my own space, you know. So I don't have to deal with rules in my own space. I make the rules, so to speak. So having to move back with my parents definitely took a toll on me mentally, but I did take it in stride. I ended up finding a really good job back in the city I was living in originally, Houston, and it caused me to commute Monday through Friday for 3 hours total per day. So I would do an hour drive there, hour drive back, not to even mention the traffic after five, right? I did that for about 6 months and then got a job working from home doing what I do now, and I love it. But of course, I still had the mental toll of over everything I was dealing with. I was about a year postpartum and I had no time to myself to even start thinking about losing weight. I'm down 70, 75, 80 pounds to date, 3 years later, but at that time, my biggest was 236 pounds. And I was originally a pixie stick. I mean, everybody knew me for 120, 110. In my thick days, my pre-pregnancy weight was 156. I'd call it my thick days. To date, I'm about 158. Giving thicker than the nigga, but all jokes, all jokes. But at that time, I went through the postpartum depression of just not snapping back right away. I didn't have the time to snap back. I didn't have the structure to snap back. I didn't have the support to snap back. But um, so mentally, 2021 through 2022 was a mess. 2023, top of the year, I launched a new entrepreneurial business and I really thought I had it going on. And lo and behold, June of 2023, my child's father passed away. Um, I'm not gonna talk too much about that because I'm not one to do crying on camera or all of that type of stuff. That's just never been my thing. But you can only imagine the mental toll I went through from 2023 up until October of 2024, I believe, September of 2024. I spent my pregnancy and post pregnancy kind of waiting on my child's father to get his stuff together. So I was celibate for 2 years, three almost, and yeah, just waiting on him. And then he just passed away. May the Most High rest his soul. I'm gonna cut that out because why would I say his name? R.I.P. KRT. We'll say that. But yeah, went through a huge mental downpour, down spiral after that. Did not do well in business. I actually stopped running and operating my business because I just didn't have the mental capacity to do so. I just wanted to love on my son a little more. I myself lost my father when I was 3. So it just felt like life was full circle and I didn't understand why, When they talk about generational curses, man, that stuff is it just became crazy relatable, right? So mentally, I went through that, and then I kind of got my spunk back in about September of 2024. Felt like I wanted to date again. I started losing weight. I was probably 20 pounds down. I was feeling myself. I was like 210, still a big girl. I mean, I'm calling myself a big girl, so is that offensive to the big girls? Like, I don't know. but I can't get into the semantics of how other people feel about what I said about me. So at that time, I consider myself still a big girl, but I was doing good, for myself as far as loving the weight loss and, getting back into the dating scene. Had a couple dates, didn't work out, and didn't let it shake me mentally. Here recently, I had an ex lover, ex friend come back in my life, and oh my goodness. That was that friend I was telling y'all about earlier. And mentally, that has been challenging, to say the least. But I think I know I'm past it as far as the situation, just to the point of trying to understand how I let it get there. Or how did you let it get that far? You know? So I've been relearning myself, my patterns, which is why it goes into the name change. I told you guys the channel originally started as The Queen TV and then it went to Vendetta Beretta. That's because, man, I'd been hurt so much in my childhood that I literally started creating alter egos to get back at individuals. And if anybody knows anything about spirituality, like that's not the work of the flesh hand. That's the work of the spiritual realm. And I was all off basis. I was definitely in a bad place mentally. And so Vendetta Beretta, she had a Vendetta, and I keep a Beretta. It's one of my favorite models of rifles, pistols, anything. They actually have a rifle that they don't make that I've been trying to get made. And if you make rifles, let me know. If you can make me a Beretta rifle, let me know. But yeah, I created all these alter egos to kind of shadow or mask, not shadow, mask the hurt and the pain that I experienced from family and friends over my 33 years of living. I know I'm past it because, as you can see, I've done away with those things. There's no more Vendetta Beretta. If you ever hear Vendetta Beretta, you would hear it towards my puppy, which I happen to name a Junior, Vendetta Beretta Junior, but I also gave her a handle. See how favor works. Back when I was Vendetta Beretta, I named my puppy Vendetta Beretta Junior, but I also thought she's gonna need a nickname, a handle. I didn't know why. But lo and behold, to today's date, she's 6, 7 months now. Um, I no longer go by that name. So you probably still won't see it for her. It's on her paperwork, but she goes by Peaches and Cream, which is her handle as well on her paperwork. So I just want to, favor, funny. It ain't fair, favor. It's just not fair. I put death to my alter egos with the help of that friend that carried out that WBB, weird bitch behavior at the time. She was a good friend. I still, have no ill will towards this individual. This individual was a good friend in the season. Helped me realize some great things about myself. And I don't know why that woman told me she was here for just a season and a reason. But it was true. Um, And knowing me and my attachment issues, I probably would have never let her go. But she was a good friend. She really was. She was able to help me see where I was masking and how, I'm really not, I really don't care to be the individual that I have been in the past when individuals cross me. But it's what I do when I'm masking my emotions. So she helped me kind of go through that, and she's seen it from day one, which is the real crazy part about our connection. Like that girl read me to filth day one. You not like that. You a softie, is what she told me. She say you a jelly bean. I love that girl. She cool. She cool people, but I just cannot get with weird bitch behavior. Um, maybe the Most High restore that and get that together, but it's it. If it happened, then I play this time around because baby, we. Now I don't know. I told you about them 3 times. Yeah, it's okay. I think the Most High know it ain't no. Listen, I think I'm gonna cut that out. She was a good friend, and through it all, I am to answer your question. I'm doing so much better mentally. I am in the best mental space of my life. I've been to therapy. I went to therapy for my child's father passing, but here recently I got back in therapy for me with the help of my friend, my ex friend. I don't know what to call her. Got back in therapy for me, and baby, we we are good. So I thank you guys for those questions, and I thank whoever put that question in there, although I did not want to answer it, it seems. Man, I am living. What is I'm walking on sunshine. Well, I'm walking on. Listen, I'm good mentally. So many new blessings. I don't even like to call them blessings. So much favor and new opportunities just came my way after I put death to my alter ego, death to bad relationships, bad connections, monitoring spirits, all kinds of things. Bad, bad patterns. Like I had some bad characteristics myself. Let's not think I'm not going to be accountable here. And this is what my general purpose is with this channel. Helping everybody understand that growth is inevitable, and to be in purpose and walk in alignment with your true purpose, we're gonna have to grow. We're gonna have to be self accountable. So you'll see me grow. I do have some other channels. I'll be launching a reaction channel that I want to launch. Like I said, my baby, he's given gamer vibes since, man, I don't know how long for now. So I want to get him a gaming channel as well as a mommy and me channel for me and him. But content is just on the run for us. The veggie dance. Can mommy finish her video and then I'm gonna come? Okay, stay in there, please. It's time to eat the veggies. And so yeah, that's a wrap. I'm pretty sure this video is super long, and I hope my mic is still recording. See you in my next video. If you're still here by then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what was your favorite question I answered down in the comments below. Can you relate to the experiences I've been through? Let me know. Talk to me. I talk back. Peace.